Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to make my Eastern European style custard. Now, I did not invent this recipe. This is a recipe that came along with making a kremsnite, which is a cream cake that's typically made in the Balkans. But I was motivated by two reasons to make this video. Well, let's say a third reason. One, it tastes good. The second reason is custard's a recipe that's not really hit hard by inflation, right? So the eggs prices have gone up, and so did milk, but then it seems like my grocery store brought it back down. Now, obviously, the wheat flour is going to go up. There is flour in this, and there's also rum, and then there's vanilla extract, which, I don't know, that's seemingly held pretty constant as well. The second reason why I like this recipe is I feel like, as far as a dessert is concerned, it's pretty darn healthy. Okay, so it's made of mostly eggs and milk. So that has very good quality proteins. Eggs are one of the highest biological value proteins you can get, and overall foods you can get, which is an interesting and separate story. So it's basically eggs, milk. Sugar's not good for you, but it's in there. And after that, there's really not that many bad ingredients in there. Flour, you can argue, is not a very good carb. But all in all, eggs and milk is what it's made of. So it's a good source of protein. It's a good source of choline. Good source of good fats, minus the saturated fats in the milk. Overall, I love it. Just for me personally, the more eggs I eat, the better my body composition is, and the better I feel overall. So I feel like this is a healthy dessert, an inexpensive dessert, and it tastes pretty damn good. So stay tuned. So the first ingredient you're going to need is 5 eggs. So I have 5 medium eggs in here and a whisk. So I'm going to whisk these things up off camera, and I'll show you the final result. Then to this we're going to add basically sugar, milk, vanilla extract, and our rum. And then we're going to add a little bit of flour to it as well to help it thicken up. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so eggs should be whipped just like that. Should be very nice and uniform and very smooth. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of sugar, roughly 150 grams. You can add less, it's all about taste. Okay, to the eggs and sugar mix, you're going to add 3 cups of milk, so 0.75 liters. Alright, poured a little milk for myself. And you can see here why I have the recipe, because my trusty little pot here can only handle so much. So, yeah, this is a lot of stuff, and for me, being just one person living alone, this is going to go a really long way. So when I say it's a cheap recipe, you're going to get a lot out of this. So we have our milk, our sugar, and our eggs all mixed up nicely and evenly. Now, we have to add the good stuff. Goodman's vanilla extract and our choice of rum. I'm actually going to go with the Captain Morgan's. I've never tried that before. Normally I use this rum extract by Wagner's, which is pretty good. I used about a teaspoon, I should say. Now here's where it's going to get a little improv as well, because the people in Eastern Europe, they typically have some stuff like it's like vanilla. They call it almost like Vanilla Sladkor, vanilla sugar, and it comes in like a dry pack that they add to it. They don't ever really seem to use like this liquid extract that we have. So this is where I wing it. I add this stuff by the 1/4 teaspoon, and I see how it turns out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Now this is something I wouldn't do for company, but since I'm only making this for myself, I'm going to figure out what I'm doing, and I'm just going to kind of make some mental notes or maybe write some stuff down. Okay, here I have this thing on medium heat, and I'm going to stir this consistently. Don't allow it to stick to the bottom. So if any of this spills over the top onto the burner, your house is going to smell like French toast. But yeah, just make sure you keep stirring. Don't let anything stick to the bottom. Everything should be pretty good once it starts to coagulate. Okay, so while this thing is thickening up and getting hotter and hotter, I want to take this time to basically say why I call this the short recipe. The original recipe calls for separating the egg whites and the yolks, and only the yolks would go into this cooked mix that's set to thicken by heat. Okay, so the whites would basically be whisked or whipped up by a machine, almost like a meringue. And then you would combine the thickened component of this with the egg white meringue, and that would lead to kind of like a fluffier mixture. But there's many Slavics that cook it this way as well, with the egg whites already mixed into the milk. So I don't think it matters that much, but a lot of people seem to, when they make the kremsnite, which is the typical cream cakes, they separate the egg whites and whip them separate. But it's a lot of work. Okay, so this is about the thickness you want when you take it off the heat. You can see it's getting real thick now. Nice. Okay, so that's the recipe. It's a great base to work from. You can use this thing as a filling. You can actually just eat it as it is. It makes a ton of it, so it's cheap to feed a family on it as well. So I'm going to be having this stuff for quite a while now. So it's going to get a little monotonous dessert-wise around here. But yeah, I love this stuff. So guys, stay healthy. Hopefully this can contribute to your diet in a meaningful way. And I don't know, have some fun doing it. Peace.
That's perfect. That's better than hiding. That's better than hiding it out back.
I know. But the only problem we got now is we have to go and retune it. All right? Let's go get a beer first.